brain slews, slick with ectoplasmic juice. Ecstatic energy, a fire that fuels our memory. What genealogy with spiritual topography? Questions for your answers. Your data necromancers.
Good day, everybody. That's been a great podcast. We'll see you later.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. What's up, everybody? How you doing? How you doing out there? Our thanks for the support. Our downloads are still fucking skyrocketing, taking off.
I want to know what you're doing when you're listening to this podcast.
Yeah, let us know. What are you doing?
You're downloading it, so you're taking it on the plane, you're taking it on your run, you got your phone in that little butt pocket where it's not dribbling around too much.
Look at this. Look at this. Podcast stats. Stats.
Oh, she's gonna read some stats. Give it to me, mama.
Oh, never mind. They're not that good. They were the last time I looked. I think last week we had... Oh, because we released one. So last week we had like fucking 50 downloads or some shit.
Shit, yeah.
Shit, yay.
I am just chuffed that we get to spend time together, and like it turns out when you record it and put it on the internet, other people want to listen to it too.
Other people want to listen to it and have fun and fucking
laugh.
Dude, we're catching this wave. We're catching the content wave. I think like this wave was ripe for us.
What wave? Describe it.
Everybody's looking for other people's opinions right now, and entertainment, and you can whip up stuff real easily. You can be on the internet real easily.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that when a lot of people are brought the idea of maybe talking on a podcast, they're like, ooh, I would never do that. And I'm like, I wonder why.
Wait, really? I get the opposite. People are like, oh, wait, what's the name? Where can I find it? Can I download it?
No. I think that they'd love to listen, but they wouldn't want to do their own.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why.
What was that sound?
There's a lot of...
I'm like a little concerned.
Ambient noise going on.
There's supposed to be a big storm coming. It's all over the news because this storm is supposed to hit all the way from Austin to Minnesota. Like, it's huge because the south is really hot and the east is really hot and the north is really cold. So there's supposed to be like tornadoes and massive snowstorms and...
Like tonight into tomorrow?
I think just tonight.
Wow.
It's all over the news. It's crazy. I was like, oh... Knowing Austin, it's like, who knows if it's going to hit or not or what's going to happen. But
we are in kind of a strange vortex that seems to skirt... extreme danger a lot.
There is a chaos energy happening lately, and it's been happening, and I see it. You can see it when you go, like, we were going down 183 south, and a bunch of cars start coming at us the wrong way.
No.
Yes.
How? Why?
You know, it is confusing down there. It's like if you follow the 183 frontage road, you don't get on the toll road, and it's right before it splits off into Montopolis, you know, and it goes up and over. There were just maybe 5 cars all coming at us from the wrong way, and Lucas and I were like,
oh, scheisse.
And I was so worried because it was like, this is a highway.
Yeah. It seems like one person got it wrong, and then the other were just following suit.
Yes.
Don't drive like that. You need to make your own damn decisions.
Also, we were coming head on, and they didn't, and it was like at 8 a.m. You know, and they didn't see it.
What's the best direction to veer if you're veering into danger? If everybody agrees that you veer right, then you'll avoid danger. But what if you both veer into each other?
We veered off to the left. They went by us, and they veered off to the left too, because there was like, dude, there's 80 cars behind us that are all going 70 miles an hour. So good luck.
Was there a ramp to the left? Or never mind.
There was a U-turn.
It's cool, man.
Yeah, I'm not
trying to visualize it.
Describe this shit. If I even tried to describe it, it would melt everyone's brain because it is really weird down there. But
yeah, I think we're notorious for having ridiculous road shit.
Speaking of which, I was trying to get on 71, and it leads me like gets off the highway, go underneath this other highway.
Yeah,
and then you come to the highway, and there is no light.
Come.
There's no stop sign.
To the highway.
It's an 8-lane highway, and they're all doing 100, and you have to jump in.
Yeah.
I closed my eyes. I was like, oh, there we go. On a motorcycle, that's easy to do because you're like, well, you just pray
You
and
just
then
fit
just
in
fucking
wherever
go.
you fit.
And the Bronco was like, meh.
Well, at least you know in the Bronco you're big enough to avoid death.
I didn't die. I'm still here.
Thank the Lord.
What you got on the docket today?
So on my mind recently has been the meaning behind what we do, the meaning of our lives, because I have been feeling not a fatalistic sense of meaninglessness, but sort of have just been trying to pay attention to all the different ways we human beings that populate this planet assign meaning to the things that happen to us.
It sounds like your ego's dying, baby, and I fucking love it.
I definitely feel like there's some disintegration going on.
It sounds like who you think you are is not who you're supposed to be, and in order to do that, you gotta be like,
what is anything and why?
Yes.
I've been thinking about those kinds of things, and I truly believe that what people believe is true to them. So I don't think that there is any like objective truth that we should all prescribe to. I believe in scientific facts, I guess, like how sunflowers grow and how bees pollinate flowers, things like that. But as far as like the unknowable things that people like have an idea
not
about,
unknowable yet.
Yeah,
they're not. Science can't catch up.
Got it. Because, so I listened to a TED Talk the other day when I was falling asleep, which is really great for me because usually I'll just watch Bob's Burgers. I've been watching Great British Baking Show and TED Talks and stuff, so I feel like my mind is sort of expanding very slowly. But the TED Talk was like, your conscious reality is a hallucination that is caused by your 5 senses, and everyone's hallucination is slightly different. And I guess the agreed upon reality is, I don't know, it's up for grabs.
I know, all I hear is manifestation, baby.
Ooh.
Like, everybody needs to manifest what it is they want, and the whole purpose of life is to get there.
Yeah. What is getting there?
Getting there is becoming your truest self, which is... Your truest self is just like a knowing. It's the middle of a gobstopper that doesn't have fear or anxiety or ego or people-pleasing stuff or what you think, how you should, be. It is just your core.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about reality is that it is whatever you believe it to be.
Right. I feel like I'm shedding a lot of layers because I have
Sounds like it.
A ton of people-pleasing stuff that have made up a lot of things that I've always done in my life. And it's weird because like I always thought that I was a person who likes making people happy, and it was just like a quality of myself.
Yeah, and it's not.
But maybe it's not. Like that's not who I am. Like it doesn't, like I don't have to make other people happy to be happy myself. But then it's not like a crisis. I don't feel worried like I'm gonna disassociate.
But the ground is falling out from underneath you.
It's definitely, squishy like sand.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried, I'm just kind of exploring.
I love that. Like when you brought that up last night, and I was like, oh, part of her ego is dying, and it's dark there in a really good way. It's dark.
Yeah, I mean, like even back in high school, I feel like my main religious thoughts have always been kind of Buddhist, in that sort of extinguishing the self, that sense of like clinging to anything that could be permanent. And I always go back to that, not to like emptiness as like a darkness or like a lack of something, but just like a fullness of I don't know how to finish that sentence.
What keeps popping in my head is my aunt, who suddenly got this giant rush of creative energy. She started painting beautifully out of nowhere. Not a painter, never
Whoa.
painted. It just, one of her paintings is in Ruby's room. Just burst out of her, climbing, and then she emailed me and wanted to interview me for a book. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I never heard back from her, and I just figured she was busy. I just didn't think anything of it, thought she was busy. And then I saw her when I went up to Minnesota, and I was like, so you still painting? Like, I didn't want to be nosy because it was very clear that she wasn't still painting. She's like, no, I'm not doing anything right now. And she was like, what's the point of climbing the mountain? She had like this really, really, really prolific, not a fall from grace. That just sounds dumb, and that's not exactly what it is. And it's kind of ineffable what she was going through. But I was
like a detachment from what she thought was
she's like, what's
solid?
the point?
Great question.
And I was like, it sounds like you're getting to the thoughts that you have on your deathbed a lot sooner than you actually die.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important there is no ladder, there is no goal, there is no mountain, there is no end. What are you talking about? It doesn't ever stop.
Yeah.
It's a giant fucking fractal, and you're always trying to get to the other fractal, because that's just how complicated it is. And so you go through periods of, resting and reflection, and this isn't what I want to be someone else. And it was cool to watch my aunt turn into somebody completely different, because it's like, yeah, that's what this is about. This is about expression, whether it ignites something and burns out, or who knows, who cares.
It's so exciting. It's anything that you want it to be. You are anything or anyone you want to be, I guess. And
maybe you're making space for a different kind of Megan.
That could be very true. I've been run by little Megan for most of my life.
Yeah, now little Megan's like, I'm gonna go do this over here now.
I'm gonna be over here like playing with my toys, so you can go do this yourself.
Yeah.
I think you got this. Yeah, definitely just been thinking about how when you adjust to changes, there's more changes to come.
Always.
No matter what you do, and if you think you're on like solid ground, it's like that's going to shift. No matter what, you can guarantee that it's always going to shift.
That's why I always stress, don't ever put anything off. You're never gonna wake up one day and everything's all lined up. There's this perfect runway for you to run down and take off into the ether. It's like your ducks will never be in a row.
Exactly.
Ever.
Which is cool. Like, you can groove in that flux zone. Accept the flux as your...
Accept the flux.
As the nature of things.
Don't give a flux.
Don't give a flux. T-shirt slogan.
T-shirt. Don't give a flux.
I feel really like joyful in it though.
Good. That's perfect.
Sort of like a realization that everything is chaos, and just like reveling in that instead of being anxious about where it's gonna land.
So you were anxious maybe beforehand, or you're seeing now that maybe you were?
I think that different people's influence on my life and my trajectory, I don't know. It's like my Aunt Carol. I haven't talked to her in a while.
Shout out Aunt Carol.
Shout out. How you doing? I hope you're doing all right. She called me a chameleon once. She was insulting me. She was like, you just glom on to people and you like become them. Like, you don't have a sense of self.
We've talked about that. That's a survival instinct that women do.
Right. And I always go back to that. I think about like, who am I today? Am I Whitney? Am I Lucas? Am I someone else? Like, have I taken from them to make myself? What part of me will last when or if I don't have those relationships anymore? It's like, what is solid? You seem to have a solid sense of self.
You know, and it really came out after my dad died.
Huh.
Because I was really digging, who was he? Man, because all I knew was the dude who burnt every serotonin receptor to a fucking crisp using drugs. How do I honor him and being a part of him? And I was like, oh, I know, this is easy. Don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Don't give a flying fuck. We were on the way to preschool and I'm like, Dad, this isn't the right shirt. And he's like, look, no one cares. And I was like, oh. Like,
but like my hair is like, no
one cares.
No one cares.
He did that to a detriment. I mean, to the point where he was so hands off, it didn't matter. But I was like, it was always about with him. And since the punk rock flame that he was such a big part of was, you know how you fuck the system is you get in there and then you fuck it. You know, it's like you don't reject it. You get in there and you pave your own way, sort of thing. And starting to see who I've always been, which I thought that wasn't me. You know, looking back at Whitney who dabbled in electronic music, or Whitney who played guitar forever, or remembering all those really angsty sentiments. I don't want a boss ever. I'm gonna get there. And using those as, and then I just like what I like.
Yeah. So you don't feel amorphous, but do you feel like you're still growing?
Always, because I also have spiritual practices and they often are more Buddhist than not. And it is like, how do I detach from, like, the top three are anger, lust, and greed. I'm always like, crush the Bronco, take it away tomorrow, burn my house down, take everything. I don't care. Like, that's always deep in my core. Take away my comforts, take away my dairy. I'll be here and I'll be fine.
I think that is so, like, centering and peacemaking inside yourself, don't you think?
I guess, yeah.
To, like, quash those very human, like, clinging desires.
Yeah, and that I feel like I've always had. I don't know what that is. That might be some old...
That's Yogananda.
That's some ancestral shit in my DNA that's like, fuck it.
So I also wanted to talk about, like, discipline. And
disciple?
Deprivation. Versus, like, hedonism and giving into impulses. And
I brought up a cool...
Yeah. See? 12 minutes on our timer here.
The hardest obstacle to overcome is yourself. And when you sit at night and meditate, your nervousness and your restlessness are still with you. Learn to control your mind and body. And they talk about the Bhagavad Gita,
which I have sitting on my shelf.
The yogi must learn to win the tug of war between soul perception and sense perception. In the initial state of yoga practice, the devotee is aware of the gripping influence of sense pleasures, even though they are short-lasting. But he is little aware of the permanent, unending bliss secreted in his soul. The discriminating yogi will therefore find it natural that the habits of sense pleasures gathered from the incarnations will be of stronger influence than his fleeting glimpses of soul bliss perceived during meditation. But he will also realize that even though habits of sense pleasures are very strong, they are not stronger than the eternal perception of divine bliss present in the soul, the inextinguishable inheritance from spirit. The yogi should not stimulate his material habits by remaining, through choice, in unspiritual environments and by merely dreaming of the heavenly joys of sainthood. By staying away from the worldly pleasures, reminding environments, and by relinquishing sense attractions, the yogi is better able to concentrate on the divine bliss of the soul. The practice of yoga is defined as repeated inner and outer efforts to remain in the eternal tranquility of the soul. Dispassion, crazy Indian word, is the act of disengaging the mind from all forms of sensory pleasures as found in this world or to be bound in heaven. Krishna warns the devotee that the threefold gate to hell is lust, anger, and greed. Therefore, these he must abandon. Karma, lust applies to the abuse of any or all the senses in pursuit of pleasure or gratification. Anger demonstrates its peace-destroying, reason-blinding, health-impairing behavior in many forms. And labha, greed, in its most covetous and blah display, greed leads to stealing, dishonesty, cheating, self-sufferate at the expense of the well-being of others. If man allows himself to be conquered by greed, his life and spirit will be ruined and shattered by suffering.
Because of that clinging.
Yeah.
So I want to reconcile the idea of having a soul perception and like spirituality and then the sense of no self. What is that thing that perpetuates as a soul when you don't have a permanent self?
The divine spark.
So, okay. Is that like
Just a
your
spark.
karmic flow? Like your accrued behaviors?
I think that is so, from what I understand, source has been shattered into a million fractals, and it's all of us, and our perception is the hallucination of separation between God. We are all God. Jesus talks about it all the time, and no one thinks about it. They just sit and worship him instead, which is not what he wanted. It's like, no, this you can do like me.
He's like, the kingdom of God is in you.
They're like, yeah, I love you. Yeah.
Can I wash your feet?
Yeah, no, they had no idea. I've experienced the eternal, what did they call it? Eternal bliss.
Yeah?
Twice during meditation. It is fucking insane. And you go, that's what they're all chasing? That makes sense. That makes sense.
Wow.
There was a practitioner on another podcast, and he was talking about, I think his teacher was Neem Karoli Baba, and everybody, his devotees, would want to go touch his feet because if you were near him, you would get to experience, the best way I could describe it is a soul orgasm. I mean, it's like your body's hooked up to 1,000 car batteries and your eyes are shooting out light, and every atom of you is vibrating beyond eternity. And it was funny. The first time I experienced it, I was in a dream. I was driving my grandma's car in the ocean, and I was underwater.
Was that Betty?
No, it was my maternal grandmother.
Okay.
And I was driving it, and suddenly I like closed my eyes, and I just became light. And I hovered there, maybe if I had to guess, 10, 15 seconds before you are like, what's happening? And I shot out of bed, and Lucas is like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know what just happened. I was lightning bolt, and everything is different. And I'm like, who do I call? Do I call the news? And he's like, I mean, I literally freaked the fuck out. I freaked the fuck out. And he was like, what are you, but it was so earth shattering. You're like, you want to tell somebody.
Yeah.
My body just exploded into light. Is this what people are chasing? Oh, but what I was saying about the devotee touching Neem Karoli Baba's foot, he's like, the second you start thinking, oh, this feels so good, it's gone.
It's like the differentiation of this is something that I'm experiencing instead of just being the experience.
And he would talk about Neem Karoli Baba moving his foot back. If he would know if you were thinking about, oh, I love Neem. He's like, no. Like you are always chasing the state of non-existence because that's where it lies.
Right.
And
it's like our brains are these machines that are meant to differentiate and like have us operate in like the physical realm, but they're not conducive to that sense of pervasive oneness
No, and I think that's part of the struggle, because if we were born knowing, then what is the fucking point?
Yeah. Hair.
And that's a big thing and it's funny too, that applies to talking to the dead, which I do or try to do. The second you go, it's gone. Is that, you can never use your mind to fucking like, was that a heart? No. Was that no.
You just have to feel.
It's just, you have to be in that, I'm no one. I have nothing. I have no brain. Like a brainless.
Like a soft gaze, but sort of like a soft spiritual gaze.
Yeah. Exactly.
What a bonkers ride we're on.
I know. Well, they say that the whole reason, this is the plane of suffering. We are here to learn. That is the point. We are here to learn lessons, and if we don't do that, then we don't move forward, Please pass go. It's like if you can't figure it out, if you do, then you can go be back in the ball of oneness.
In like the what is it called when you're born again in a new form?
Reincarnation?
The reincarnation? You think we've all been reincarnated?
Yeah, there's so much evidence of it. It's disgusting how much evidence there is of it, and they're like, no. They're like, man, how many kids have to pick out their murder weapons, their skeletons? They're solving so many murders, and they're like, we don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, humans need it written down, printed on a fucking newspaper with a fucking textbook that's been, that's right. It's like if Jesus Christ came down, you really think it'd be like, hello, I am Jesus Christ, this is my identity. It's like we all need so much proof. Yeah. So much, because we're idiots. Like, it's like, well, and we've been conditioned to be like, well, this panel of white guys said it was. It is like, go to any other part of the fucking world.
Yeah.
They're like, or like even in Mexican culture, they have people that talk to the dead, and they're like, oh yeah, go talk to them. Like, it's not weird to them. It's not, they just fucking believe it.
Why am I blocked from accepting the fact that I have a soul?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I gotta go. That's been great, ladies and gentlemen. See you later.
Like, I want to believe,
Ooh. I want to believe. That sounds like some shit, man. That sounds like some shit. I have no idea. You need some MDMA, and you'll figure it out. Because that sounds like a legacy burden. Maybe do your parents think they had souls, or what was,
I think my mom believes she has a soul.
Look, D has a soul. D.
I don't know. It's just something I've been grappling with. You've got 2 minutes on that.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where to go from there. I have dipped my toes into a lot of different religious practices, and I feel like my sort of chameleon nature is,
wow, is tethered to your inability. Like, there's a big,
nothing solid for me. I don't see anything that is true, that I believe without a shadow of a doubt. Here is something that I can rely on, something that I know is true. Everything is just amorphous and immaterial and shifting and malleable.
And that might come from your upbringing, your people pleasing, your peacekeeping, your distraction, it always was so flowing that you never had a chance to build a foundation.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it. That's some like heavy shit that you're going through, man.
Yeah.
And it's a process. Like, it's such a fucking process, because you could just be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
We don't. The end, I know that we don't. But you don't know that we don't have that.
I don't feel like I know anything.
Right.
I don't know anything. But I know that when I see other people experiencing joy, I feel joy, you know? Like whenever I go to the grocery store, I'm like, ooh, they're picking out their vegetables. They're gonna go home and cook them. I love that. Or like I'll think, like I just went to go vote and I was like, oh, I love all these people just like exercising their civic duties and they're so proud. They got their little stickers. I just love all the different ways that we are us. And I feel like a oneness with everyone. But as far as like myself, who is that and why? I love everyone else.
That makes me sad and tender.
Aww. I mean, I feel like I must be someone because there's love going out, you know?
You know, it's funny because I see you.
Aw, that makes me tender.
I brought you to the mall. I made you buy a laptop. I see you in Rub It. It's like, I see you.
You do.
I see somebody who...
Wow, rock and roll. I know that you see me. I
bitch.
I wish that I could see me through your eyes and see what you see.
It's hard. I think that's so hard to do because I don't ever see me, and Lucas is like, the fuck is wrong
You're the
with
fucking
you?
queen of the universe. How do you not see?
He's like, I married you, and I'm like, well, you made a mistake. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me. It's not like a lasting impression on me. I need constant validation.
Yeah. Damn, son. I love you.
I love you, and I see you all the time. I do see you get in your own way because we're all like, this is what I want and this is how I want it, and it's like, oh, but why not just, you know?
Yeah. It's every day is a winding road. Sheryl Crow, famous
Every
author.
Every day is a winding road.
Damn. Oh, this is something I wrote down. Listen to your inner voice. My inner voice is bonkers. Every turn is wrong. Navigationally challenged.
Why do you think every turn is wrong? Look at where you are.
I know. I think I was trying to make an analogy because whenever I'm driving in my car, I'm like, I think it's that way. And if I go with my gut, it's wrong.
Yeah, that's me too, though. I went the wrong way down MLK, and I was like on a farm, and I was like, how did this happen?
I don't know. It's just like building confidence where there is none. So it's a journey, and I'm chuffed to be on it. I'm not trying to make anybody sad. I feel very happy to be alive, and I think I would like to continue being alive for as long as possible. And just, I guess, looking for the meaning. And I don't mean to turn this into like a therapy session for me, you know?
That's why we do this. We don't do this for being experts in anything. We do this because there's enough people who think it's worth listening to.
Hello?
What was the question again?
Meaning.
Yeah, meaning is subjective too, right? Because it's like, what is it like?
I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to think. I'm like, does my life have meaning? It's not something I ever think about.
Your life as a kid. That seems very meaningful.
Yeah, there's survival. I gotta get this dog water before he either explodes or...
And then we find out he's just made of dust.
Food or water, that weird loaf. Fat loaf.
He is a bit of a loaf.
Fat loaf. They just guess what you don't get to eat.
Ow! Poor D. His little ears went up.
I know.
There's just so many different ways to live on this planet.
And which one do you
Which one do
want?
I choose? Which one do
This one's pretty rad. You
This
get
is
to-
really rad. I love it. Like we get together and laugh and have fun, and like we cook things and eat things, and we like dance, and it's a blast. I'm so into it. Why does there have to be anything else?
Well, I mean, I'm just going to say it, but I mean, like, you're looking for the other dyad, too, because that is grounding and that's support. And just like so many other mammals, we like partnership. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole nother ball of fucking delicious edible wax.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about that sometimes, too. I feel like I won't be ready for the partner unless I mean,
that sounds like some shit. You gotta dig through, toy with, rake.
There's some
water,
raking to be done. I won't use a leaf blower. I refuse. I'm in a period of excavation.
I like it. Yeah, I was really excited when you told me all of that. I was like, good. Yeah. Fuck yeah. That means that something's coming. And that Megan's making way right now with, trying to figure out something that you think is very important to you. Mm-hmm. And who knows what that looks like.
I'll be chuffed to discover it. See how it unfolds.
Yeah.
No worries. Just excited to be alive, usually.
It's funny because it's like I also feel blocked when I think about it for you, which is usually like, oh, okay, I can't. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I get that a lot though with my own life. They're like, no, figure it out. And you're like, ugh.
It's like you're so close to me that you're experiencing it as you experience it for yourself.
That happens though. Like, it happened with Erica. My guides stepped in and were like, you're done giving her advice. It's like, okay. And now when she asks stuff, I'm like, I don't know. But I actually don't know. Yeah. It's not me like
it's not like
coy.
withholding.
No. Like, oh God, I don't know.
Yeah. I guess I'll just listen. Try and pay attention to stuff. And not block stuff out purposefully because I'm afraid.
I'm wondering if Lucas believes in having a soul. I don't know what his beliefs are either.
Huh.
He is very buttoned up when it comes to spirituality. It's not something he likes to talk about. But also he does. I mean, sometimes he does, but not. I think he's scared of its power and its potential and...
Oh, that's interesting. What would be scary about it, I guess?
We should ask him.
Yeah. Guest on the pod?
Yeah, we should ask him when he comes back because, yeah, I'm thinking now, I'm like, we used to talk about it deeply, but then he kind of retreats from it purposefully. And Sarah picked up on something once in one of our classes. She was like, your husband, he needs to start like listening to his guides. And it's funny because they came to me because they were so pissed off that he wasn't listening to them either, and they were mad, and they're like, he'll listen to you. And then I told him, like, dude, these people are banging on my brain's door. Here's all this stuff. And he was like, oh my God. Immediately he could hear them. Immediately. Wow. And when I stress this to everybody because everybody who's listening has guides in their head, and they don't speak to you in a voice. They speak to you in thoughts, persistent thoughts, and when you figure out who you are and what your head sounds like, you'll figure out the part of you that's you, and then all the other parts that aren't you. And they're not, it's feeling, it's persistent thoughts. It's, oh, you know what I want to do today? It's that, that's them talking to, it's really, what's it called? It's like esoteric, and there's a lot of minutia and a lot of feeling, and it's not straightforward. There's no book. There's no list of tasks. There's no, this is how you do it. You know,
Right.
it's so everybody out there, listen to your goddamn guides, because they're probably screaming at you from what I found out.
Mine are insane. I'm almost scared to give them any attention.
They're cheeky too. They're
Yeah.
fucking cheeky. But they're there to help. And we all have 7. There's 7 guides. I've got a whole list of them. Oh wait, I don't know if it's in this notebook anymore.
Oh, like guides of you, specific parts of you? Is that how
Yeah.
they're laid out? Don't lick my lotion off, babe, please.
You have a native guide? Oh yeah, I don't. That sucks. It's in some other fucking notebook.
So many different colors.
Some other fucking notebook from some other day. And then Ruby has just immediately taken this over. Oh well.
Anything that is yours, she immediately wants.
All day today, I like grab the cheese and she goes, "It's mine!" And I'm like, "Oh, good. Here." Ooh, Erica and I did an ancestor tarot spread. I was never really big into tarot because every time I'd pull a card, it was always the Hanged Man, which means that you're stuck. And I'm like, I know! And then I'd throw the tarot away.
How is it, I guess I don't really know anything about it. Emma has this really cool deck that I like looking at, but I don't know what any of it means.
I don't know what any of it means either. And I get caught up in overthinking what I think it should mean. And then I just look it up on the internet and then I find it.
Yeah.
But we did consulting the ancestors. And I was like, I like tarot in the idea of consulting what's
Yeah.
on the other side versus like, I need to know how to do this or whatever. And so you set it up in 4 directions. One was land. So the ancestors of the land you're currently occupying. The south was your blood lineage. So all your blood ancestors. The west was wisdom. So let's say you really identify with cooking. You can pull the wisdom of every cook that's ever been alive. And they're speaking. The idea is that they're speaking through you, through your passion.
Whoa. Speaking through you, through your passion.
And then the north is your past lives. So all the past Megans, they're speaking to you through this. And it was really cool. So there were 3 cards.
Sorry, what was the 4th?
Past lives.
Past lives.
And so the card you'd flip first is like the path of known. Like this is the card. This is what you know. The second card is your blind spot. And then the top card is advice.
Blind spot. I mean, I wish we had a deck right now. We can just pull it out and whip it out.
Let's do it. We can do it after the pod.
Get digging. Yeah.
It'd be fun because I have like the prayer. I think you'd really like the prayer because it's really land-oriented, Celtic? Celtic, Irish. The woman teaching it, she was definitely a native from Central America, but she like has apparently Irish in her background. I don't know. She was like excavating all this different stuff. So she was really cool to hear. And it was funny because Erica did hers. I gave her the Gummy Bear Tarot deck. And then I did mine. And hers was it's no fucking coincidence, man. All of hers are like stuck. Stop doing what you're doing. The version of you right now needs to die. Stop. This, that, like just over and over again. And then mine is like, so there's a lot on your plate right now and you're really successful, but I kept getting queens.
Huh.
Never gotten those in my life. Blah, 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 blah. It's like I would fucking get like, you're stuck. Must be fun not creating anything.
So how did you poop that turd out to get unstuck?
The Yummy Noob stuff, I think, really was like...
That was a huge thing. Like that, making that video of Aaron making cookies.
Changed
And then getting
everything.
That job. Like not only your life, but Lucas's life, Ruby's life, my life. Like you just opened this huge door.
It got me creating on a treadmill that I can't get off of.
Yeah. It's so cool.
And it was funny because Yam was just reviewing this bike. And I was like, this is the bike that I wanted. But my unofficial godfather, who is this very, very tall African-American Jewish Harley Davidson biker guy.
Huh.
And he was the only person I knew that rode motorcycles. I was like, Stefan, I'm going to get this bike. And he goes, God damn it, Whit, just get a fucking Japanese bike. And I just listened to him and I bought it. I bought a Japanese bike the next month instead of getting this Italian whatever. He was like, Whitney, no, what's wrong with you? I was like, but it looks cool. And he's like, no, that's gonna be a headache. And then I told Yam that and he was like, so if you never bought it and he never said that, we never would have met.
Oh.
Because he rented that bike from me.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, you're right. And he's like, I never would have started a channel had I not bought the R3. And he's like, I was going to buy this other bike, but the dude, you know, it was like, oh shit, everything would be different.
Very minuscule decisions have so much bearing on your trajectory into the future. I guess, I don't know, the more time between that decision and the current moment, it's like you see how different your journey would have been if you made some other decision.
I never would have pulled you into the creation realm.
I can't even imagine what I would be up to if this hadn't happened. Like, what would I be doing?
What would I be doing? I don't know.
Also, if there wasn't a global pandemic.
Well, that was really cool to watch how much that fucking shook up everybody's shit.
Definitely. Yeah, I bought a bike rack. And the people that I bought the bike rack from on Etsy had quit their jobs or lost their jobs during the pandemic and started this, like, this is what's close and near and dear to my heart business. So I bought from them, and then I got a dude who lost his job or quit his job during the pandemic and started, like, his own business, installing shelves and mounting things and moving things during the pandemic. And then my shit totally changed because of it, and all three of us brought together in this one transaction. I don't know, stuff like that just blows my mind, and I don't know what to do from that moment of mind-blowedness. I just want to sit on a hill and feel the breeze.
That's what we all want, right? I'd love to do that.
Just drink fizzy water.
That sounds great.
Contemplate the stars. Maybe have Willow in my lap. But I think it is really important to continue to use one of your great words, unearth, like the creative potential. Like, creating things is its own reward.
Think about it as being the purpose of life. We're supposed to procreate. Creating a child, creating art, creating...
And that's what I always go back to when I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Who am I? What is going on? I'm like, oh, rubbish cook. Funnel it. Rubbish cook. That's what you can do in all the different ways.
Yeah, and I'm like ready to, like, last night, I was like, I kind of want to see if you take leftovers out of the equation.
Oh.
It's like, don't hold yourself back. Like, what do you, like, because you made a fucking pot pie with mac and cheese and curry, and I was like, dude, there's a whole fucking pimple of amazing ideas just waiting to be excavated.
I feel that. I think that the reuse or, like, the reimagining of the food is such a...
No, I know, but don't let it stop you from, like, oh, that's a great idea. I don't, it's like, don't think of it that way. Because when I think of Rubbish Cook, I don't think about you utilizing garbage ever. And I've filmed every single one of the episodes. I think of it just like as a humbling, I'm just a rubbish cook.
Right. I mean, it has so many different meanings.
I never think of you as like the ultimate reuse person.
Right. And sometimes I question that as like how pervasive does it need to be in everything that I do, because I am the rubbish that is, cooking. I am cooking myself too. I think that's really important. Thank you. for reminding me of that. Because I love going grocery shopping and buying new things and making delicious food out of them.
Just like the weird shit that pops into your head. Like you are a fucking fondue fountain that everybody wants to dip their fucking marshmallow in or cheese cube, because it's like you have so many ideas. It's like, just go with that.
Yeah. I feel that. I do feel that.
Should we eat it?
What should we cook next?
Dude, I'm ready for pizza. I know that sounds like such a fucking bummer, but I was like, I will buy lye tonight. It will be here tomorrow, because I just want to see you fucking do it.
Yeah. I think they would be really delicious.
I also would like to do this because it is a core memory of mine, biking around New York City for the first time, which is an amazing experience.
Whoa.
And Lucas and I went to his cousin worked at this restaurant, and the first thing he put down were pretzel pot stickers. And they were so good! Oh my god, they were so fucking good.
Yeah, we need to get lye.
Pretzel pot stickers, man.
We can make pretzel everything if we have lye. I was gonna go to Easy Tiger and be like, hey, I'm a cook.
Yeah, I'm sure. I was like, dude, let's hit up fucking Andrew Nelson. I don't know. Somebody I know fucking has
sure,
lye.
like a ton of places in town has food grade lye. And I think we can pick it up from Walmart. I just need to order it and get it in there in that location. So yeah, we'll just get some lye, because it can't be a bad thing to have around. But then we'll have to get some gloves because we're not allowed to touch it.
Right, we have those.
I always go back to that Fight Club scene. I was like, this is lye, and then like pours the burn.
I want to watch. It's been a long time since I've seen that. Pretzel pot stickers with like a queso. Oh!
I died. I'm dead now.
See, I'm telling you, dude. It sounds like fun.
Do you get to go back on dairy in a couple days?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I'm so like life will be different.
What are you gonna eat first?
Nachos for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner.
I had nachos
cheese and
for
crackers
breakfast the other day. Not great. I mean, it tasted great.
You had pickled jalapenos though. That shit fucks me up.
The way they
I do. I love the way they taste too. But guess what? It tears me up.
I just need to like drink a candle before I eat them.
Yeah. Is that how you fix it? Drink a candle, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like the episode of Simpsons where Homer eats the Quetzalcoatl pepper.
Oh yeah,
chili cook-off, and then Johnny Cash is his spirit animal in the form of a coyote. Yeah, the insanity peppers.
I love them. Can't eat them.
I want to eat them.
Get it off my fucking sandwich.
I want to eat them. I feel so... I just feel very peaceful.
Good. And we're gonna... So you can break these up in terms of... You can pull 3 cards. You don't have to pull all billion of them.
Yeah.
Which direction pulls to you in terms of your lineage? The land, blood, wisdom, or past lives?
Is blood like a biological thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like a personal biology kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
The thought that popped into my head was pulling one like before you go out the door somewhere. Is that how it's used sometimes?
I don't know. Maybe.
Like you're like, I'm about to go do X and I'm all ready to go to do that, and then I pull a card and I'm like, this is how it will go. That's what I was just thinking.
We could try that.
What if I get really into it?
I think you'd be really good at it.
I worry that I get really into anything though, because I can like see the merits of doing like a lot of different things. I don't want to be so undiscerning. You know what I mean? I want to find my path, not just be okay with any path.
Yes, and I'm discerning too with like a meeting I had today with my boss where I'm like, dude, I'm tired of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's how you can do it. Like there's a moment and stuff that I like this, but it's not for me.
Yeah, it's like listening to what you're actually feeling.
Yes.
Instead of saying like, no, this is good, keep doing this.
Well, and I think about the people pleaser, which is making excuses, squishing, manipulating in a positive way.
Yeah.
Which
and
is
like denial.
because there is good in everybody, and there is
Yeah.
good in everything, but it's like that's the hard part.
Definitely. Don't settle.
Don't settle. I like how right now it's like the sun is beaming on your phone and then your phone is like refracting a bunch of rainbows into my eyes, and I'm just like,
Oh,
dude,
shit.
don't we always pot at this time?
I don't want you to be
in like a
blinded.
really good way. It's like ultraviolet and pink. Yeah, it looks great.
It's hitting you.
It is hitting me.
As always, I'm grateful that you exist and that our paths continue to cross.
Ladies and gentlemen, our stickers are coming in.
Haha! You're
Our
gonna want one of them. The logo was created by my BFF over here across the table from me. How do we describe it? It's like, I mean, you could see it,
My tits out this whole time.
but our minds, I don't know. I wanted to say our minds are like a cage and we need to break free from them, but our minds are also the
canary
tools
inside them.
that we use to understand.
I want to give away some stickers for free. There's some MVPs that deserve them.
Hell yeah. Birdo.
Birdo!
Hey.
Spencer.
Spencer.
Y'all are going to get free ones. Then I was thinking, this is just we've got some fun shirt designs.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Murph. I love you, but you don't need to do that, bud.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget, hit us up on Instagram if you've got any questions. That's fun. I like when people hit us up on Instagram, and
Yeah, I like our little story bits that we
I like
do.
our story bits where I was like, you know what? I'm thinking about my will, and will you raise Ruby if I die in a
I was
horrific
like,
motorcycle accident?
Yes.
Could you imagine co-parenting with Aaron and how fun that would be?
Yeah.
I packed their lunch. I could just see him. He's like, I got their lunch, and like, here's all of the. He'd just be.
I know. He would be like this is how you fix this, or this is how you make this, and this is what you do. He's a doer.
He is a doer. I love finding doers in your life.
And I
man.
would just be the cuddler. I'm like, do you need to snuggle? Because I'm good at snuggling.
as told by Murph right now.
He wants my love and he wants my revenge. We're in a bad romance.